Well, good morning everyone. It's Saturday morning, it's the 7th of June and it's about 20 past 8 in the morning. Been a long time since I've done one of these allotment videos, so I thought a quick tour should be quite a big difference from what I was showing in the last one. So quick tour, start with the potatoes. These are almost ready to harvest. I think might dig one later just to see, but probably certainly in the next week or two. These are first earlies, variety called Aran Pilot, and you may or may not be able to pick out in the video that they're starting just to turn a little bit yellow and die back, which means that the tubers underneath are ready to harvest. So we should have a good supply of new potatoes, if not from now onwards, certainly probably from next weekend. This has been a little bit of a, I won't say experimental bed, but there were leaks on this kind of end corner, which we only finished last weekend. So I planted in this bare patch here some butternut squash, just literally put the seeds in the ground. I didn't have any plants to put out. And then this I've been using for kind of the next set of salad crops. So there's some lettuce there, and then there's a row of beetroot which you won't be able to see but have just about started to germinate, I think. There's a row of radish there. For some reason this year I've had a real problem getting radish to germinate. These I sowed about a week or 2 weeks ago, and yet there's a row here which have never done anything. I mean, this is you can see radish and absolutely nothing but weeds. Similarly, I've had problems. There's curly kale and cabbage in a row here, nothing, and there's spinach, which there's just 2 or 3 plants, and Swiss chard, which is just 2 plants. So whether I put them in too early, don't know what was going on, but haven't germinated. Courgette plants went in a couple of weeks ago. They're struggling a bit, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they'll be alright. We'll see. And then onions and shallots, not doing great, I have to say. I mean, the onions, if you look at the bulbs at the bottom, pretty tiny really, compared to my neighbour who seems to have a forest of onions. But you know, there you go. Fruit is doing quite well. These are black currants, not quite black yet, still a bit on the red side, but I have to think about putting some netting or something over them soon to stop the birds getting at them. Apples, not as many on the tree this year, didn't have as much blossom. There's probably about a dozen on there. I think we had sort of upwards of 30 or 40 last year. All mixture of beans here, French climbing beans, a couple of different varieties, and runner beans. They were sown directly as seed, a bit like I said, the butternut squash. A couple of gaps, and I was going to bring down some replacements and I forgot, so I'll have to come back another time and do that. I've already netted this particular area, basically because all the fruit bushes here now are setting fruit, and some are further ahead than others, gooseberries in particular. I just noticed, for those of you who are of a squeamish disposition around insects, some kind of, don't know whether you can see it on there, maybe I can move the netting so we can get in a bit closer. Some kind of caterpillar on the gooseberry there. Don't know what it is. We'll have to look it up and see. Looks like it's telling me to go away. It's got its front legs in the air, waving at me. Nice. Anyway, these are dwarf broad beans, believe it or not, but they seem to be really high. I'm going to try and pinch the tops out of these in a minute, because you can see they're already starting to get black fly on the stems, which normally the backfire after the tips, which are the kind of tastiest part apparently. I've never tried them, but I think you can eat the tips. Lettuce, which has been going now for quite a few weeks. I started this undercover, which probably is why it's doing so well. Garlic, again, coming up for getting ready to plant. A little flower bed at the back there. Again, not a lot happening, but some plants there. I'll have a look in a minute when we get around there. And this will be my sunflower plot. And I think you can just about see first of the sunflowers coming through, so that's great. And then moving round, peas, including funny twiddly bird scarers to keep the birds off. And it looks like first peas of the season. Wow, this is what I like about having an allotment. You can just go down and harvest and eat straight from the plant. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, first peas of the season. I shall eat those in a moment when I've got 2 hands to play with the pod. So that's about it, ignoring the compost bins as we walk by. As I say, what have we got? We've got nasturtiums over the back there. These, can't remember what I put in here. Calendula, does that say? Yes, calendula. And then these are marigolds, although these aren't marigolds, these are weeds. And then there were some more sunflowers over there, so not done terribly well. Probably went in a bit too early, some of the seed. But that's it. So forecast today isn't great. Supposed to be getting thunderstorms. We did have one early this morning, so I'm going to stop the recording now and get on and do some work, and then I'll upload this when I get back home later. Hope you're having a good weekend wherever you are. Speak soon. Bye.